Think you've seen it all. These quirky Chinese customs might just flip your perspective and boost your well-being in the process. While the culture shock of visiting China isn't as intense as it was a couple of decades ago, there are still a few customs that might leave you scratching your head. Some might seem like paradoxes, others a bit old school, and some just plain wild. But here's the twist. They could actually boost your well-being. So, buckle up as we dive into 5 uniquely quirky Chinese traditions that might just surprise you and change your life for the better. Number 5. Doing a pop-in squat. My Chinese dorm roommate from last year came in for a while, but he left as soon as he realized that gasp. We only had squat toilets. One would think that squat toilets would be the first to go, given the incredible economic progress China has experienced since reforming and opening up. Sitting toilets are reserved for elderly individuals who are unable to assume the position, according to a large portion of the Chinese population. Despite the widespread dislike from Westerners, squat toilets are healthier for a variety of reasons. First off, as there is no skin-to-throne contact, they may be more hygienic. However, it is best to keep details about the condition on the floor to yourself. Second, the Chinese have long understood that working from this posture is far better for their bodies. Not to get too technical, but studies have proven that because everything is at the proper angle when squatting, it is faster and more comfortable to relieve oneself. The craze for pooping stools, which are toilet seat cushions that elevate the knees to a more squat-like position, has even begun to catch on among wellness enthusiasts in the West. It is also evident that regular squatting exercises improve flexibility. The elderly people in parks with their legs propped up on the railings never fail to impress. I've heard that Chinese people are more adept at squatting because they have more developed leg muscles, which makes that position much more comfortable. Now you understand why, even when not using the restroom, the so-called Asian squat is such a well-liked resting position here. Number 4. Take a hot water drink. My family recently traveled to China, and even though it was the midst of summer, they were shocked to be provided room-temperature soft drinks, beer, and lukewarm or scorching hot water. Many people, even those who are aware of China's inclination towards hot water, believe it is only necessary to combat the tap water that is notoriously contaminated with bacteria. Sterility is undoubtedly a factor, but the Chinese also favor warm or hot water because they believe it has health benefits, as do a growing number of Western experts. The rules of Chinese medicine, which state that cold beverages are unhealthy for your qi, are the source of many Chinese myths regarding the health advantages of drinking hot water. However, if you Google health benefits of drinking hot water, you'll get a ton of more mainstream information that you may not have known about. Warm water, for instance, is more quickly absorbed by the body, and hence more effective at quenching thirst, because it is closer to blood temperature. It is also claimed that consuming warm water first thing in the morning, before breakfast, helps to cleanse the kidneys, get the stomach ready for food digestion, and control bowel motions. Excellent to know. The most concerning of all is that there is a theory that suggests drinking cold water right after a meal can cause the oils from the food to congeal in your system and eventually convert into fat, which can cause cancer. It could be wise to err on the side of caution and limit your intake to warm beverages going forward, even though the Western medical profession hasn't fully endorsed this approach except for beer and milkshakes, of course. Number 3. Reducing air conditioning. Reducing dependence on air conditioning appears to be an additional trend that the West is gradually absorbing from China, possibly due to escalating energy expenses and the environmental catastrophe. The Chinese try to use air conditioning as little as possible because they have long held theories about the hidden hazards associated with it. Their reasoning is much the same as the previous argument, which holds that being cold is bad for your health. The reasoning behind this might be approached from 2 different directions. First of all, it has been demonstrated that populations in warmer climates are typically leaner and healthier due to the body having to exert more energy to perform the same tasks in a hotter environment. On the other hand, in colder climates, people will naturally put on a nice thick layer of fat to protect themselves from the bitter cold. The second argument against using air conditioning excessively is that dust and bacteria thrive in blocked fans and filters. Many people also think that traveling to and from polar opposite locations regularly messes with your immune system and increases your risk of illness. Sincerely, I believe I can personally attest to this. I thought the AC might be the cause of my sore throat after several months of waking up every day during the summer. Using a fan now, I'm free of sore throats. Number 2. Chinese meals served to the family. How perplexing was your first Chinese dinner, do you recall? Seated at a massive lazy Susan filled with 30 or so unfamiliar dishes. 3 hours had passed by the time dinner was served. You had probably eaten your fill and were exhausted. There has to be a simpler, faster method to eat, surely. Despite our enjoyment of a good buffet, sharing is less prevalent in the West, where people typically eat their meals to themselves, with the possible exception of dessert. However, this is China. It is quite offensive to order for yourself when dining out with other people. What are the health advantages of a Chinese diet, then? Sharing numerous plates allows for the coverage of a greater variety of food groups, even if many Chinese dishes are drenched in oil. A Chinese dish's elements will more closely reflect an ancient food pyramid, but a burger and fries are essentially simply protein, fat, and carbohydrates. You'll receive your recommended daily intake of phytonutrients and omega-3 fatty acids, as well as all the other fancy terminology associated with dietetics from a wide variety of meat, fish, plant proteins, and vegetables. Furthermore, eating a leisurely Chinese meal is better for your digestive system than scarfing down a large quantity of food rapidly. Just be careful not to transfer germs by using serving chopsticks. Number 1. Refusing to face the sun. Strange and amazing fashion accessories that assist Chinese people avoid the sun are frequently made fun of by outsiders. Face kini? Anyone? Although making fun of extremely outrageous outfits might be entertaining, it's crucial to remember that some of these distinctive fashion items serve purposes beyond simple individualism. Indeed, they are useful and healthful. Consider the enormous fluorescent visor helmets that you frequently see people riding bikes or mopeds. Clever? Indeed. Sensible and well-nourished? Yes, twice. When you wear one of these bad boys, you will shield not just your face and eyes from sun damage, but also from road dust. The same is true for the many Chinese people who wear detachable sleeves and who, on bright days, use umbrellas. When we first arrive in China, we might think these things strange, but the eternally youthful residents might get the last laugh. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Your support helps fuel more content like this.